Gladiator Arena, Los Angeles, California. Mike Adamle along with NFL Hall of Famer Larry Zonka as our road to the Grand Championship continues. Today, another first half semifinal. And we'll start things off in a big way with Breakthrough and Conquer, our first event. Our first contender is Annette McBride from Boise, Idaho, 28 years old. She works for the Bureau of Land Management. In Breakthrough and Conquer, she'll have to go against Sky and Storm. Storm will be inside the conquering, and there's 6'3" of Sky hunkering down in Breakthrough.
Contender ready!
Chance for the contender to pick up a total of 10 points.
Sky waiting too far back. She's got to close that gap. Annette coming to a complete stall at the 5-yard line. One thing you don't want to do for sure in Breakthrough is come to a stall in front of that Gladiator.
No stalling here, 15 seconds to get any portion of Storm's body outside that conquer ring. And going up high on the Stormy one, not a good idea.
Now she has to fake high and try to get a leg. There, she tried it. Poor Storm is strong. Storm doing a great job just keeping the contender away from her body.
So Sky and Storm indeed lay down the law in Breakthrough and Conquer. Annette McBride walks away, but with no points.
Storm comes out and sets the tone for the day. Contenders beware, the Gladiators are certainly ready.
The Samuel Goldwyn Company presents the American Gladiators.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Adamle along with Larry Zonka. Glad you could join us as we wrap up our first half semifinals. And Larry, we have what should be a pair of outstanding semifinal matches.
Well, Mike, the semifinals are like the playoffs. Things tend to heat up. Storm has already set the pace for the day. Let's see how the contenders hold up.
Annette McBride has already tasted the Gladiators' fire. Let's see what Jennifer Walz can do. 24 years old, a systems engineer from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Also the shooting guard for the New Jersey Suns and the Women's Professional Basketball Association. No spin move, a little stutter step, and that was good enough to get by Sky and cross the goal line. She got 5 points.
Jennifer came in, committed to that spin a little bit, and then she saw Sky off balance. She just reversed her field and was able to pick up the points.
Sky getting a little flat-footed, a little off balance as we see it from her helmet count. She just couldn't respond in time.
Let's see what she can do against Storm.
Ooh, she's trying to use strength on Storm, and that's not going to work. She's got to get down. She's got a leg. That will work.
7 seconds remaining. Storm mighty close to rolling out. Yeah, the hand was out. Larry Thompson saw it right there. 10 points for Jennifer Walz.
Our referee, Larry Thompson, right on top of that action. Storm's hand barely touched. Larry was on it.
And you hit it on the head too, Larry. When Jennifer decided to go low, go to the legs, that was when she was able to get Storm out, and there you saw it. Okay, now to the men we go. A look at Clifton Miller, an aviation technician aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt, stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, and he'll have to face off against Viper and one of our newest Gladiators, Havoc. Even though Cliff's a Navy man, he's mighty good on the land here. Boy, he's got some excellent quips. Let's see what happens. Actually, Havoc does a pretty good job. Cliff scores, however.
Clifton with an excellent effort to dive in that end zone.
Actually takes Cliff's lower body out, but he still carries his momentum to the end zone.
So Cliff Miller with a quick 5 points. Can he get 5 more? He's got 15 seconds. All he has to do is take any portion of Viper's body outside that ring. Little counter move there. He waited for Viper to relax. And Cliff Miller picks up the full 10 and Breakthrough and Conquer.
Referee Larry Thompson telling Viper he had to keep coming back up.
Well, Tony Bettendorf hasn't even played yet, and he's behind the 8 ball. 22 years old, a welder from West Carrollton, Ohio, outside of Dayton. He was an outstanding semi-pro football player. Havoc and Viper about to get a second chance, and they are not in the best of moods right now.
Contender ready.
Both Tony and Havoc
Gladiator ready.
Football backgrounds, they both know what they're doing here. Be a real confrontation. Nice move by Tony.
Sweet move.
Committed upfield, made it look like he was going for that right corner. Gave the hip, took it away, and broke for the left corner of the end zone and made it.
All right, now Viper inside that conquer ring. Seven seconds left. Whoa, and how about that? Just as Cliff Miller did, Tony Bettendorf did. They both get 10 points against Havoc and Viper.
Tony down butting heads with Viper, seemingly getting nowhere. Suddenly gets Viper up high with a sudden surge of power, manages to push him out of the ring.
And that was the mistake that Viper made. As soon as he got to his feet, Tony took advantage of it and took him out. And Viper, an angry man. Wrestling not so much about strength as it is about leverage. That time, Bettendorf had the leverage and got the 10. We're moving on. Powerball. 45 seconds of nonstop action. This actually a battle between two Ohioans. Although he's stationed in Jacksonville, Cliff Miller originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Tony, of course, outside of Dayton. The Battle of Buckeyes. And they've been on a collision course since the very beginning. Cliff beat Lance Sellers and Spencer Street. Tony beat Albert Gray and Willie Cooley to get here to this first half semifinal. For the Gladiators, these guys are determined. It'll be Turbo, Tower, and Viper. Once again, scoring in this event, goals in the center cylinder are worth 5 points. A goal in the outer cylinders are worth 3. And Powerball is brought to you by Nintendo, makers of Super NES. Now you're playing with power, super power.
Contenders ready! Gladiators ready!
Cliff right away with a speed move past Turbo. Tony breaks the tackle and scores as well. Nice move there on Turbo. Look at Cliff go for that. So boy, these guys are great. 30 seconds left.
It was the first time Tony was denied a score.
Not that time, however. Cliff. Right now, the Gladiators in a bit of disarray in terms of strategy.
Oh, Tony seizes a moment, goes for that center pod. Now he'll pay for it.
Look at Cliff, though. Again, he's got those long arms, spidery arms, and that allows him to reach out and over the Gladiators in many cases. Tony scores as time expires. Let's total it up. Great effort by Clifton Miller and Tony Bettendorf. They continue to roll. And talk about thinking on your feet. Watch here. Tony gets Viper to commit. Nice stop and go move. Viper comes up with nothing but air. Now one more time.
Now let's take a look at a classic breakdown in Gladiator communication and defense. Here you see Tower, Turbo, and there's Viper. Now as the play moves to the south side of the playing field, the Gladiators are unable to stay in sync. In Powerball, it's critical that all three Gladiators stay in constant communication. Instead of maintaining their assignments, all three now converge on Cliff Miller right there. As a result, the defensive breakdown becomes a total collapse. Now we have three Gladiators and one defender. Tony Bettendorf, right over there, says, hey, it's fine with me, fellas. I'll take the 5 points. Thank you very much.
That is not to say the Gladiators didn't have their moments. Here from Viper's helmet cam, they execute the double team perfectly. He and Tower did that time. But Cliff, with those long arms, reaches out over Turbo. Again, this time watch Cliff. Gladiators can't knock him down. He keeps his balance and finds a way to score. Women's Powerball is next, and that woman certainly has some spin moves. Our professional basketball player, Jennifer Walz, who has a 10-0 lead on Annette McBride. Jennifer victorious over Claudia Valdiviezo and Betsy Erickson. Annette beat Irma Vargas and Kathy Marshall to get to this first half semifinal. For the Gladiators, it'll be Storm. She's ready as always, and she'll be joined by Sky and Diamond. Once again, 45 seconds the time limit.
Contenders ready! Gladiators ready!
Jennifer in the second round tied an American Gladiator record by scoring 7 goals in Powerball, and she's off to another great start. So is Annette, for that matter. Whoa.
Big hit by Storm on Jennifer.
Powerball, Jennifer's favorite event, she says, because she gets to spin and make moves a la basketball.
Oh, Diamond's up high.
They stop the clock with 17 seconds.
Larry's right on the case.
Throat, Diamond.
No, I didn't.
We have a disqualification against Diamond. High around the head. The game will continue. 17 seconds. 2 Gladiators, 2 Contenders.
And that puts intense pressure on Sky and Storm. They go from zone defense to man-to-man, Larry.
Now Jennifer likes that man-to-man. She's used to that. Let's see what kind of move she opens with on Storm. A fast one worth a couple of points. Same on Sky, she gets it in.
8 seconds remaining. Jennifer Walz on a real tear here.
Oh, but Storm slams her to the ground, denying the gold.
And that is it. Jennifer Walz down on all fours, but with a big smile on her face. 45 seconds can be an eternity in Powerball.
Jennifer using some of those basketball moves right off the bat, and a little football gets involved as our 2 contenders smack each other.
That time she was able to get away against Sky. Annette has some moves of her own. Sky has to try to drag her down from behind, but Annette tenacious and stays with it to score. Our 2 contenders also got their share of bumps and bruises. Watch Storm do the job here. Still a good effort by Jennifer Walz, who proves she is adept in Powerball and basketball. Nice work by the shooting guard from the New Jersey Suns. We'll be back after this. Event number 3 in this first half, semifinal Atlasphere. And our women will go at it first. Jennifer Walz currently with a 22-9 lead on Annette McBride. Jennifer will be in the yellow Atlasphere, Annette in the red one against ELEKTRA and her partner, Storm. Once again, the contenders have 60 seconds to roll their Atlaspheres into one of 4 numbered scoring pods. Each goal is worth 3 points. Here comes ELEKTRA and Storm. About to test the Big Bang Theory. Storm rocks Jennifer Walz.
Annette new to this event, as you alluded to, Mike, but she's already on a scoring. Well, I don't know. ELEKTRA make short work of that.
On the other hand, Jennifer Walz gets one in pod number 4 to take the quick lead.
Annette with a nice reversal move on ELEKTRA. Picks up the score.
Here comes Jennifer again in pod number 4. 20 seconds remain. Now 15 seconds. Annette goes topsy-turvy, upside down. Storm and ELEKTRA being very stingy out here. Following our contenders every move, and that is it. No score in pod number 2 for Annette McBride. Time expired before she did so. Look at Jennifer.
Well, both of our gals got to work out, Mike. You take a look at Annette using a lot of finesse, not too much strength, but a lot of finesse getting into pod number 1. And then, of course, Jennifer Walz using finesse, but a lot of muscle. Check this out as she rolls through the scoring pod. She wastes no time right after she picks up the score, right back to the task at hand.
Well, the men will go at it now in Atlasphere. A look at Clifton Miller. He'll be inside the red Atlasphere. He trails Tony Bettendorf, who's inside the yellow one, by 2 points. For the Gladiators, it's the team of Havoc and Tower.
Contenders ready.
Larry Thompson about to send all 4 on their way here. Time to roll and then time to rock. Here comes Tower, drawing a bead on Clifton Miller.
Tony told me the key to this thing is not to get pinned to the rails, not let that Gladiator get you forced against the wall. So he's going to try to stray out. He's going to try to stay out in front. Looked like he went right over pod 1.
They may have to give him that one. Cliff Miller scored right off the bat, though.
Tony with a breakaway to 2. He picks it up. Now he's headed for 4.
And he's got that one as well. Tower doing a real number there on Clifton Miller.
Don't put in.
Well, Tony again with great control. Staying out in the open like he said he would. He hits two. It appears it went on.
No, no on.
5 seconds remaining.
Tony a virtual rabbit in this thing. He's staying out in front of the Gladiators. He gave it his all.
Indeed he did. He wins it 6-3 and pads his lead over Cliff to 36-31.
Tony with a lot of speed, but check this out. Not just speed, you have to be able to control that Atlasphere, and what's more is you've got to be able to stop it. And sometimes that's even more difficult than just getting it rolling.
And Cliff Miller a bit disappointed with his result, but then you'd expect that from a man who expects so much from himself. Let's meet him. Clifton Miller, United States Navy, is truly an American gladiator. As an aviation electronics technician aboard the USS Theodore Roosevelt, his skills are critical to our fighting forces. Every working day, he helps contribute to the defense of the country. And when Desert Storm erupted, he made an even bigger contribution.
Just by being in the military itself, that right there, you know, is my contribution. But I felt like there was something more that I could do. And by me going over there, they made it that much better.
Cliff goes about his business in a quiet, no-nonsense way. And he intends to take on the Gladiators in the same manner. And he thinks he might surprise some onlookers.
They say, this guy, you know, he might have a chance. You know, he has the heart, he has the drive, he has the skill, you know, matter of fact. And they say, yeah, I like him. You know, he's small, he's quiet, you know, but he gets the job done.
And Cliff will try to get the job done next in assault. He's got the big guns and the big gun. His name is Laser, and he's set to play assault. Our men will start things off after 3 events. Clifton Miller trails Tony Bettendorf 36-31. Cliff up first. Contenders can pick up individual points by firing weapons at one of 5 scoring stations, but their primary objective is getting 10 in the target above the Gladiator.
Clifton Miller has participated in this event before. He picked up 10 points, 45 seconds. Laser literally not giving Clifton any room to breathe, not alone fire his weapon.
He gets that one off. Laser actually picks it off in midair. It looked like a Patriot in a Scud.
And he picked Clifton off in midair also, right between station 2 and 3.
And now you know why that man is so good, Laser. However, Cliff Miller does pick up 2 points for firing 2 weapons. You know, Cliff not the only member of the military. Tony Bettendorf, who's up next against Laser, he also served in the Persian Gulf. He was called up as an Army reservist in Operation Desert Storm. Pretty ingenious guy, rigged up an air conditioning unit to a nearby telephone pole, but he also does stints as a male dancer, borrowing from the Desert Storm theme. Well, here he's got to do a little dancing. Dancing past some of these tennis balls that Laser's going to fire in his direction. The referee Larry Thompson sends him on his way.
Tony's got to look upfield, though. Twice going to the first station, he was looking away. Laser will get him if he doesn't stare upfield. Ooh. Laser on the target. Oh, I thought Tony had it.
I did too, Larry. Laser only has 20 shots up there. He's expired about 10 of those.
Ooh, close. Nice duck and tuck. Little roll action.
20 seconds left.
Oh,
another near miss for Tony Bettendorf. 2 final chances here at station number 5. 10 seconds left.
Going at that last point. Watch the corner.
Laser's got only 2 shots left. There's his last one. Did he make it? Did he make it?
No.
Just about a length of an arm shy of getting that bonus point, but Tony does pick up 5 points. extends his lead to 41-33 after 4 events.
Mike, as you said, he was very close to picking up the 10 points. There with the rocket. Next with the cannon. Again, just inches away. And finally with the crossbow. This I call a real near miss.
Well, this Gladiator doesn't miss often. Her name is Sky, and she's going to try to do in our 2 contenders. Jennifer Walz up first, currently with a 16-point lead on Annette McBride.
Gladiator ready.
Jennifer on her way, and she's had some success against Sky in the past. Sky trying to give her a case of amnesia, though. "45 seconds.
Again.
Yeah, I thought so. Larry Thompson and the game judge Bob Rusatich right there. Jennifer nailed between stations 2 and 3, but she does pick up 2 points. Jennifer never got a chance to jump as Sky nails her in the left leg. Well, Annette McBride can cut into Jennifer's lead if she's successful here. 1990, she was a Miss Idaho bodybuilding champion.
Gladiator ready.
That flex a little firepower here against Sky.
High and wide with her first shot. Low and outside from station number 2.
Ricochets don't count. That one bounced off the ground. Sky thought she had a hit. That one in the upper stratosphere. And before she can get to station number 4, Sky is pumped up. Yes, yes, yes. Annette McBride does pick up 3 points and trails by 15.
Not looking upfield, just tries to duck away, and as a result, catches that shot right in the middle of the back.
So Sky goes 2 for 2, and Sky happens to be the subject of our Ask a Gladiator segment.
2 down.
William Benjamin from Los Angeles writes, "Dear Sky, how tall are you and how tall are your parents? How do you handle all the stares and attention?"
Oh, William, my height is 6'3", and my mother is only about 5'5", and my father was around 6 foot at the time he passed away. My height is, from what I gather, is from my father's side. I am still the tallest of any male or female in my family, and I'm quite proud of that. As far as the looks and stares, I love it. I'm glad that people can look at me and appreciate my height and the way I carry myself. It just makes me feel good.
And you at home can write to this address if you want to say hi to Sky or any of our other Gladiators. Our women are poised at the start line for event number 5, Skytrack, where they will race end-to-end over this Velcro course suspended in midair and try to beat our Gladiator. Lane 1 will be Jennifer Walz. In lane 2, our Gladiator. There she is, ELEKTRA. And in lane 3 will be Annette. If the contender wins, they'll pick up 10 points. If they finish second, they get 5. There's the scoring breakdown. We're set to go. Jennifer has never done this event before. It wasn't in her preliminary round nor her second round. Annette finished second to ELEKTRA in the second round. And right now, ELEKTRA taking the early lead, looking much like the mechanical rabbit at the dog track.
And Annette very much in the race, doing a good job coming out of a near spin out in that curve. She certainly is locking herself into a second and maybe has a shot at catching ELEKTRA.
But right now, it's all ELEKTRA. If neither contender wins, the first contender across will get 5 points. And that looks to be Annette McBride. ELEKTRA crossing the finish line first. Annette comes in second and picks up 5 points.
Jennifer having a little trouble not knowing how to utilize her feet. Just lets them dangle, and that gives her trouble in the turns.
So now Annette down by just 10 points.
Here's Annette over in lane 3, the far right of your TV screen. As we reach the halfway point of the race, you see ELEKTRA execute a perfect turnaround. Annette now has trouble. both with the button and the turnaround, and as a result falls behind.
Jennifer Walz also having her share of problems. You know, the contenders are connected to a harness and a swivel that's in a slotted groove, and if you let your legs dangle, sometimes the process of turning around becomes a bit harder. No such problems with ELEKTRA, however.
ELEKTRA giving us a textbook demonstration of how to win at SkyTrack.
Our men are now set to race across this Velcro course. In lane 1, it'll be Tony Bettendorf, who has turned in the best time to date in 36 seconds. Lane 2, our Gladiator Viper, his best time, incidentally, 39. In lane 3, Clifton Miller, his best time, 40 seconds. So this should be quite a race.
Contenders ready. Gladiator ready.
All three men demonstrating fine form coming out of the blocks.
And right now it is Tony Bettendorf tearing it up here in SkyTrack.
Tony with great hand and foot coordination, but he spins out on that last turn.
All three touch that turnaround point at the same time, and now it's Clifton Miller with the lead. But he's got that outside lane, so that lead a bit deceiving, but nothing is slowing up Clifton Miller. He's going to cross the finish line and get 10 points. His time, 36 seconds. Tony also beats Viper and picks up 5.
Check how close these fellas are at the halfway mark. Tony on the left side of your screen, Cliff on the far right. As they come into the halfway mark, almost a dead heat. But here's what makes the difference. Tony in lane 1 stumbles on his turnaround. Cliff, on the other hand, executes his quickly.
I think one of the reasons Tony had problems, again, his feet are not in contact with that Velcro surface, and it makes the turn much more difficult. As a result, Cliff wins this race going away. We'll be back.
1 mountain, 2 mountain, 3 mountain, 4. You take on laser, you're gonna hit the floor.
Event number 6 here in our semifinal round. Human cannonball, where Turbo and Laser will try to hold their ground against our two contenders. Right now, after 5 events, Cliff Miller trails Tony Bettendorf by 3, 46-43. Each contender has 2 swings to try to knock the Gladiators from the platform. Each successful swing worth 5 points.
Contenders ready. Gladiators ready.
Tony goes about 200, Cliff 175. Let's see how much weight and velocity he can generate against Laser and Turbo.
And our 2 defensive linemen come through with a star for each. Great job, Gladiator.
Get that stuff out of my face and try it again, huh?
Tony does a good job of getting himself up high. Doesn't get a good tuck, doesn't get a good line, and as a result, Gladiator just brushes him away.
And you can see through Cliff Miller's helmet cam that he hit Turbo flush. The difference here is Turbo was able to get low and take the blow. Watch here, digs in with his shoulder and doesn't budge.
But he has that pad a little too low. Turbo took a terrible hit on that left shoulder.
He's back up there again. Again, each contender given 2 swings. This time they'll flip-flop Gladiators. Tony against Turbo, Cliff against Laser, and both men are rock solid. So the score remains the same, 46-43.
This time Tony with a good tuck and a good line gets a great hit into Turbo. Turbo's one tough customer. He stands his ground, stays atop his mountain. Look at that hit.
Not bad balance either. And now it's the women's turn, and focusing in at the task at hand, Jennifer Walz, who leads Annette McBride by 20. Jennifer will draw a zap in this first swing. Annette will get diamond. Good time for Annette to pick up some points here. Remember, today's winner moves on to next week's first half final. First swing, here it is. Man, oh man. Zap and diamond did not budge, and Jennifer and Annette really hit them pretty square.
Both of our Gladiators have a similar game plan. They move to the rear of those podiums, getting as much weight back on that back foot as possible, and at the moment of impact, they lean into it to neutralize the blow.
Well, let's see if they can do it again. And let's see if Annette McBride can pick up at least 5 points here. Only 2 more events to come after this, the joust and then the eliminator. This time, Jennifer will go against Diamond and Annette gets zapped.
Gladiators, ready!
Yeehaw!
Jennifer with a good swing.
Whoa!
A shutout. Gladiators with perfect form. And in perfect form.
So with our contenders with good swings, you see Annette right here. She gets plenty of height, gets the good tuck, delivers a great blow. Zap steps forward and meets it. Is able to neutralize it.
So Zap and Diamond take care of business big time, but things are going to heat up next because it's crunch time. It's crunch time here on the American Gladiators, and our crunch time event is the joust. Hand-to-hand combat with military-type pugil sticks. Jennifer Walz up first. Right now she has a 30-20 lead on Annette McBride. She draws ELEKTRA. They met in the second round, and Jennifer battled ELEKTRA to a draw.
On guard!
Immediately, ELEKTRA goes on the attack.
Jennifer trying that reverse sweep action, much like Zap uses, trying to sweep ELEKTRA from the podium.
Oh, yeah,
Almost
she's
gets
got
it with
ELEKTRA
the
in
jab.
trouble.
Oh,
We're under 10 seconds.
that was tough. She was off balance a couple of times, but would not be swept off.
Well, they fought to a draw in the second round, and they fight to a draw here in the semis. 5 points for Jennifer Walz.
Both girls giving and receiving. Jennifer wading into the thick of the battle. She's determined to pick up 10 points. Certainly not taking a back seat.
Jennifer actually had ELEKTRA in trouble several occasions. Watch here. ELEKTRA almost loses her stick, is trying to fend off Jennifer's shots with her left arm and then her right arm. That pugil stick coming dangerously close to hitting the ground, which would have resulted in an automatic disqualification. Annette McBride now, 0-2 in her previous joust appearances. We talked to you about her bodybuilding expertise. Here she is in action. And she won the Miss Idaho competition. Things a little bit different this time around, as she has to flex her muscles against ELEKTRA.
ELEKTRA landing blows, but having trouble hanging on to that pugil stick.
We're under 20 seconds.
Ooh, nice combination. ELEKTRA right and a left.
Just can't seem to finish Annette.
Annette said she's going to practice keeping her feet on the platform. Earlier on, she lifted them up too much. She's doing a good job of that. She may get the tie.
Time winding down, that's it. She goes the distance as well. Tough day of work for ELEKTRA on that jousting platform. Annette McBride gets 5 points.
Annette doing a good job of hanging on. You can see she's been knocked a little woozy right here. But nevertheless, she stands her ground and hangs in there, picking up the 5 points.
Thank gosh, that is over. She barely hung on. On to the men we go, and a look at the mighty Turbo. Terrific record, 12-2 in this event. He gets Tony Bettendorf first. Tony currently with a 3-point lead on Cliff Miller. Look at Tony's girlfriend on hand. Tony lost to Turbo in the first round. Chance for a little revenge here.
Ooh, Turbo lands a massive overhand right. Tony doing a good job hanging in there. He's absorbing some heavy blows. Look at the combinations by Turbo.
Tony way off balance, but he hangs in there.
Oh, he's got it! Yes!
He gets the turn!
Woo! What a battle!
Tony was his platoon's, Army platoon's pugil stick champion, and he just showed us why.
Have you ever entertained the thought of being up on that platform in this pugil stick action? Well, there's what it's like. Let me tell you what, Tony is one tough kid. He takes just about everything Turbo has to dish out and then makes his comeback.
Turbo a little despondent and perhaps a little arm-weary as Tony withstands the blows. He takes a lunge, gets Turbo off balance, but not before Turbo gives Tony a whack to the head. I may be going down, but you're going to remember this one, Tony. Cliff Miller now, a chance to pick up 10 points. He too draws Turbo.
On guard!
Turbo, a proud man. You know he's smarting from that last defeat. Again, Turbo in a bit of trouble, at least balance-wise. He went for the knockout punch, threw himself off balance, crossed over to Cliff's platform. Automatic DQ, give Cliff Miller 10.
You know, Mike, it almost appeared that Turbo's strategy, game plan, if you will, was kind of to play the roper-doper here. He was going to absorb all that Cliff could dish out and then suddenly come unglued and wipe him off the platform with just 1 or 2 blows. But when he went to do that, he threw so hard that he lost his balance and stepped across.
And I can't ever remember Turbo having a day like this one, at least in the joust. The Eliminator is next. A spot in the first half finals is on the line, and the Eliminator will tell the tale. In our women's competition, Jennifer Walz has a 10-point lead on Boise, Idaho's Annette McBride, good for a 5-second head start. But Annette has come too far to throw in the towel. She's not about to quit, and she's with Larry at the start line.
Annette, you've been battling all day through every event. 5-second deficit. Can you overcome it?
Well, Mr. Lair, I think it can be done. Yep, still seeing stars from the joust there, but I think I can pull through.
Shake them out and do it, yeah?
You bet.
Good luck.
5 seconds in head start deficit, not all that monumental. Annette McBride certainly has it within her athletic capacity to make that up. On course for the Gladiators underneath the handbike. A look at Diamond and Zap. And down the final straightaway, activating that last obstacle the Contenders will have to deal with. It is ELEKTRA and Sky. And the Eliminator is brought to you by Mars. Mars, making life a little sweeter. First, the incline treadmill. It gives Contenders fits, and it's giving Jennifer fits now. Annette McBride has taken the lead. And that is huge because Jennifer is still struggling on that treadmill. Annette all the way across on the handbike. This would be a major upset, I think, because Jennifer has been so darn good. Jennifer gets 3 passes at that. She couldn't make it in any of the 3 attempts, so she gets the pass, and now she's on the handbike, but she'll have to really come from behind if she is to go on to the first half finals, where the winner meets Betsy Erickson. Whoa! Annette McBride all the way down the zip line. Over the wall. Apparently those stars that she saw in the joust not affecting her here in the Eliminator. And it is McBride and not Jennifer Walz who moves on to our first half finals in a very, very big upset.
Annette McBride, not only could you overcome 5-second deficit, you probably could have overcome a 15-second deficit.
I don't know what happened, but I love it.
Well, whatever happened, you're the victor, and welcome to our first half final.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right. Mike?
Well, Larry, how about Jennifer Walz? The crowd here at Gladiator Arena urging her forward. Over the final barrier. Oh, she is one tired camper. Actually, the majority of this Eliminator course was a breeze for Jennifer. It was that darn treadmill that did her in. The first time up, she failed to go, and you can see Annette McBride not having too much of a problem. The second time Jennifer tries it, the same result. She just can't keep those legs pumping hard enough to make it to the top. She's going to try a third time. That is not a charm. And finally, she's allowed to take the free pass, but by then, the race was over. It's do or die time for Cliff Miller and Tony Bettendorf, and what a duel these two young men have waged. matching each other point for point. Right now, Tony has a 3-point lead and a 2.5 head start. But is it enough to offset the speed that Clifton Miller has in this event? Right now, Larry's with Cliff at the start line.
Clifton, Tony's got you by a 2.5. Is that going to be enough for him to win?
I don't think so, but I don't like to say anything like that because we know that this event is called the Eliminator and anything can happen, so I'm going to try to give it my best, you know.
Good enough.
All right.
Cliff Miller with a clear perspective of what's at stake. And what he'd like to stay clear of in this final race is mistakes. If the contenders fall off the hand bike, they are assessed a 7-second penalty. There to enforce it, it's Viper and Laser. And down the final straightaway, our gauntlet awaits. Activating that monster, it'll be Turbo and Havoc. And as she has been all afternoon, Tony's girlfriend Kim on the edge of her seat. They have both scored in 6 of the 7 events. Only Human Cannonball did them in. Watch Tony now on the hand bike. He is grimacing. Here comes Clifton a little bit faster. This is going to be close. The cargo net is going to tell the tale. They're dead even right now. Here comes Cliff Miller. He's taking the lead. He's the first to reach the zip line. Tony having problems. Cliff in a nice tight tuck. Nice 1-point landing. Here he comes down the final straightaway. The gauntlet, no problem. He smokes that final straightaway, easily crossing the finish line first. Tony, no doubt, will have nightmares about what happened to him on the cargo net.
Clifton, you have performed superbly all day. Let me ask you something. How do you stay in such great shape when so many other contenders get hurt? How do you stay healthy?
I don't know, Larry. I don't know what it is. No secrets or anything. I think what I do is just pray, and that must be the key right there. That's the only answer I can give.
Well, you certainly have extra strength, whatever you do. Congratulations and welcome to the first half finals, my man.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mike.
All right.
Cliff Miller, athletic talent and guidance from above, but here's where he won the race. Tony actually goes into the cargo net a bit too aggressively. Cliff, on the other hand, smooth and steady. It wasn't that Tony was that bad, it was just that Cliff was that good. So Cliff Miller moves on to our first half finals, where he'll face Ted LePage. And runner-up Tony Bettendorf, well, he's left to contemplate what might have been. Coming up next week, our first half finals. Until then, for Larry Zonka, I'm Mike Adamle. So long from Gladiator Arena.